Well done on the right side. You can hear a thunderstorm coming on in the background. One time, classic sports Saloon are on their way. So just right, guys, we'll get the podium underway where the dash line. Attention, right, so we'll do the podium now. And your leading lady for 36 Mini Cooper Captain Ashley Morey. Your best newcomer is Ian Bonstone.
Welcome to the classics now, the classics at Knockhill, always with a pretty good, decent grid. Scottish Classic Sports and Saloon Car Championship in damp conditions, not the greatest for the guys or the spectators, but sometimes it can give us some fabulous racing, and it can also turn the results on their head, because the big powerful cars might not have it their own way. A little bit of giant killing sometimes happens in these damp wet conditions. And let's see how they get on. Raymond Boyd's on pole from John Kinman, with Bruce Mitchell and Alistair Bapty the second row. Ferrari and Coates, Crehan, Conway and Longstaff and Laird. Watch out actually for William Conway, that little red Mini right in the middle of your shot there. As the red lights start to come on the bridge, we've got a full complement of lights, 5 lights on, and away we go. We go on board with Bapty, defending champion, and that is a launch and a half in an MGBG TV8. Bapty's going to lead this as they go in towards Duffus Dip. Is Raymond Boyd going to give him it? No, Boydie slides the turbocharged air-cooled Porsche across the front, and John Kinman looked like he was having a go at Alistair Bapty there, but Bapty managed to withhold that one as they go through the twisty complex here, Knockhill, for the first time of asking, and make their way up towards the chicane. Raymond Boyd goes through in his E-Class Porsche, Bapty also in the E-Class MG, and John Kinman the E-Class Rover. Now, when I say E-Class, they are the biggest engines out there. Alistair Bapty, defending champion twice in his little Fiat X19, but he's jumped up a fair few classes and he's gone straight in with the MGBG TV8, and Alistair really is gelling with it extremely well. I'm very impressed with how he is getting on with that car. Difficult conditions to drive anything in, never mind the thundering V8 as we go in through the hip, and that is Mario Ferrari sliding past E. Crehan there and doing a good job as you go on board with Bapty. And you can almost hear that thing, you can actually hear that wheel spinning over the hump. That's terrifying. Rather you than me, Alistair, as he goes over the crest of the hill here, the little wiper working overtime. As we go in towards McIntyre's, down a gear, turns it in. That car looks pretty well suited to the track right now. I wonder what that box in the passenger footwell is. It's like a cool bag or something like that as we go through the chicane right now. We need to find out exactly what Alistair has got in there. So we go up the back straight. Raymond Boyd having to work for this one. Bapty keeping him very much honest. This little lightweight MGBG TV8. Gotta say, it's pretty well planted in these tricky conditions off the end of the exit curb at Clark's. It spins up the rear wheels and Bapty catches that one pretty quickly. Impressed with that. Boydie defends going into the hairpin. Bapty has a look at the outside, down the gearbox they go, turns it in. Can he undercut Boydie here, or will he get a good run through the corner? One thing we know for sure, Boydie's Porsche is very fast in a straight line, but Raymond drives it extremely well in the twisty parts as well. John Kinman in third place just now, the three big V8s just pulling away at the front. Well, the Porsche isn't a V8, but the three big engine cars pulling away at the front, with Alistair Bapty giving Raymond Boyd, who has put a bit of red in the car this year as well. It's normally a baby blue Porsche all the way, but Raymond has got a red bumper and red wing mirrors, and if anything, John Kinman's either catching up or Boydie's just backing them up towards each other, and that's maybe a sensible move by Raymond, because Bapty has he's got the horns poking out that helmet today, hasn't he, as we come up towards Clark Corner, and through we go. Let's hope that Alistair doesn't have a big moment off the end of the curve this time. No, but also that is a place where, in certain cars, that's a big corner as you come in towards the hairpin. Bapty pulls out, Boydie covers it. Wow, Alistair Bapty on the brakes, has the thing sideways going in towards the corner, backing it in like a MotoGP back there. That was very impressive from Alistair Bapty. If I had a hat right now, Alistair, I've just taken it off for you. That was impressive driving as they go up over the main straight. Boydie is fighting back though as they come underneath the Beatson's Bridge. Bapty's brave on the brakes, Boydie's on the inside on the wetter part of the circuit. And Alistair Bapty manages to keep the lead and hold that in the MGB-GT V8. 3.8 litres that car is in the E-Class, way up there in the class structure. Raymond Boyd, his Porsche 2.9, so class is a 3 litre engine, and the 3.5 SD1 Rover of John Kimmond in third place. Sideways out the chicane there, up the back straight. Andrew Elliott goes past in his little Mazda MX-5 1600. He's in F class, and that's Andrew's very first race meeting as well. So fair play to him as Bruce Mitchell comes through, chased by Alistair Coates. Two completely different cars there, poles apart. The Ford Mustang, big 5+ litre Ford Mustang, and Bruce Mitchell's little Lotus Europa TC. It's a 1700 car. He slots into B class with that one, and it's a C class for Alistair Coates. But all fine and well. Everybody races together. There are separate classes all the way through this, but everybody just wants to win on the road, and that's exactly why they are here. As Bapty comes through McIntyre's in the MG. Boydie slipping back into the clutches of John Kimmond now. And that MG sounds absolutely special going up the back straight. I really do like the sound of that. Alistair has got that thing singing and on point, and it just looks like it's handling these wet conditions absolutely perfectly. Bruce Mitchell, Lotus Europa, Alistair Coates in the big Ford Mustang, come through the chicane, and is it Mario Ferrari after him? No, it's not actually, it's not. Ian Crehan comes through ahead of Mario Ferrari, and where's William Conway in the Mini? I expected the Mini to be a little bit further up the field actually. Williams Austin Mini, it's a 1380cc, he's in the A class, the class which Alistair Bapty was in last year, in the X19. There's William Conway going through shot there as we come off the end of the exit curb and tear round towards the hairpin through Hislops in towards Taylor's turn, the hairpin. Tricky conditions here at Knockhill, and all the spectators today gathered in stands at the side of the track. That one there, the hairpin shelter, the Bontham Security Services one. Oh yeah, that's pretty busy with spectators, as is the one at Duffus Dip, McIntyre's and Clark Corner. As we come up the main straight past the timekeepers up there over the crest hill, so the starters race control to chalk off another lap under the Beatson's Bridge on the brakes. Crehan staying well out of the way there as we go over the top of Duffus Dip, and this is great actual vision. Considering it's wet, the camera is moving the water, and well, that camera is making it look a lot brighter than it actually is. Wow, that makes Raymond Boyd's Porsche look absolutely fabulous, that does. Up the main straight, Bapty goes past Duncan O'Neill in the Ford XR2. The 1600 CVH engine still in those XR2s. Only two of them in the race, Duncan O'Neill and Gary Taylor. Duncan O'Neill with the predominantly white car with the green flashes. Gary Taylor predominantly white with orange flashes. Very reminiscent of the Reed brothers in the Mini Cooper Cup Championship, the Celtic Speed Mini Coopers. As they go lap down now. Bapty's gone, Boydie goes through. Bapty now behind Andrew Elliott as he goes up the back straight. And Boydie's managed to put a good bit of distance between himself and Kinman there, just using the back markers to his advantage. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to be sensible in these races. There's no point charging at everything. You've got to try and pick your moments when you can. And through they go, heading towards the hairpin now. A 12-lap race for the Classics as Alistair Coates goes down through Butchers, and yeah, Bruce Mitchell's pulled away quite a bit now in that little Lotus Europa as Bruce goes up the back straight. Alistair Coates, well, the Mustang isn't the easiest car to drive. He has spoke to us about that before, especially in these conditions. It's quite hard work generally in the dry because it's so fast, and in these conditions, yeah, you're going to be using an awful lot of opposite lock, as John Kinman tends to do as well. The big long Rover just tends to promote more oversteer than anything. Alistair Bapty's little MG BGT V8 here, it looks like it's on absolute rails as he comes through the twisty complex of Knockhill, down through Butchers and climbs back over the crest of the chicane, the left and in the right. And look, it's not even wanting to jump sideways on him as he comes through the chicane and accelerates up the back straight towards Clark. Kieran Bailey had just gone through, shot just ahead there. Donald Laird as well as Lotus Elan. Michael Longstaff in the race as well. William Conway, we did mention William number 20 in the Mini, the Austin Mini, but we haven't seen too much of him on screen. And a flashing up on the bottom of the timing screen says Andrew Elliott has set a new fastest lap, a new lap record in the wet. So I'm thinking that there maybe wasn't a lap record for that class already. A new track record for the F class for Andrew Elliott, a 1 minute 12.370. And Andrew will be pretty delighted with that. This is his first ever race meeting, never done anything before, so out there with the Classics, having a whole heap of fun. That is Donald Laird about to get baptied as they come in towards McIntyre's, and Alistair slides up the inside, and Donald sees that happening, knows exactly what's going on, so stays well out of the way of the number 1 car. Oh, and John Kinman retires. John Kinman rumbles past In fact, doesn't, does he? He comes in very silently there. Past the timekeeper's hut. So John Kinman retires the Rover SD1 from the race. Big 3.5 litre engine not running as that come in, so that's a bit of a shame for John. Let's hope he gets that fixed for race 2 and can join again. As Kieran Bailey there, we saw in the little Lotus 7 all over the back of Donald Laird in his Lotus Elan. So a little Lotus battle going through Clark as Conway makes his way up the main straight, past the circuit office, and just, it's a big long climb, especially these little engine cars, and just comes over the crest of the hill now and heads down towards Duffus Dip. This is where the Mini really can excel. It can really push the little car through these tight, twisty corners. Minis always handle extremely well in tricky conditions, and the tight and twisty stuff kind of suits the Mini down to a T. It reminds me of Nick Boys, going back a little bit there. Nick used to race a Mini Cooper, and it was always a little bit of giant killing when Nick was out there in the classics. And we miss Nick. Nick's gone on to race bikes now. He races motorbikes. He's got Ducati, I believe. Anyway, we wish Nick the best, and we'd love to see him back here in the classics. As through Clark's, almost a full lap on board, which is quite nice to see. It's something we don't get to see very often. And just listen to that little engine pulling it towards the hairpin here. Onto the brakes, down the gears, get her turned in, and then fire her all the way back up that big long climb as Bapty slides up the inside there. That was a nice manoeuvre from Alistair Bapty. Wiggles his bum, and then look at that, just disappears. Such is the power of that MG. Now wheel spins over the hump here. As we were on board with that earlier on, we could actually see Alistair almost correcting that as it was going over the crest of the hill. Either correcting it or it was just happening. But there we go, William Conway. Thank you for that lap, William, in your Mini. Car number 20 there, the Austin Mini, the 1380cc A-Class car as he goes through. But it's all about this man here, isn't it, Bapty? He's about to come up and pass Mario Ferrari now in the Alpha Sprint Trofeo, another A-Class car, 1500cc car for Mario Ferrari, car number 27. The beautiful orange car there, he goes through. The wing mirrors almost very high, the door mirrors very high on that car. Reminds me of Ears, yeah, comedy Ears, as he heads towards the hairpin. He's about to get Alistair Bapty. No, that won't happen. Probably happen out of our shot as Raymond Boyd comes through Clark as well. A bit of a lonely race for Raymond now that John Kinman has retired, and that promotes overall Bruce Mitchell to third place. So that will be a class win and a third place podium overall for Bruce Mitchell. He'll be delighted with that actually, and very deserved as well. Bruce tries so hard in that car, and he punches above his weight quite a lot in that B-Class car, the number 57 Lotus Europa. As we go back on board with the Mini, and that is Raymond Boyd passing William Conway now in towards Duffus Dip. Boydie on the wet part of the circuit. Speak of the devil, Bruce Mitchell does go through ahead of Andrew Elliott back at Clark Corner. Alistair Coates still currently circulating in 4th place behind Bruce Mitchell, and that will be a class win also for Alistair Coates as we go through the chicane. Alistair actually showing in Class C on the timing screens as William Conway has a big moment there and has to put the foot down to try and save that one and drag it through. But our flag marshal is in the hut, and Alistair Bapty will be getting one checker flag in just a minute or two. In fact, it's going to be even less than that as a few guys go across the line just now. Bapty comes out the hairpin, checker flag gets made ready. Duncan O'Neill and Gary Taylor will go a lap down as Bapty takes a checker flag and takes the win, overall win, and a class win of Class E. Raymond Boyd will come through for a good second place, and second place in Class E. Bruce Mitchell will be third on the road, and he'll take Class B honours. Class C honours will go to Alistair Coates, who comes home in 4th place, with Mario Ferrari taking home Class A honours and 5th on the road overall. Top 4 guys in the same lap, everybody after that a lap down. Let's hand down and catch up with the winners.
I just didn't expect that. We were running the engine in last night at 11 o'clock and didn't think it was going to be coming here. And, well, we were lucky. I think that's all it was today, was lucky.
There's a bit of a mix-up at the start. I got bogged down a wee bit. I think Raymond bogged down a wee bit as well. And there was a few cars went past me, but I managed to get back on them later on the race, so went alright. It was pretty slippy though, but it was good.
That was 5th place overall, and you were well and truly sort of through the pack, but that Alpha Sprint Trofeo looking really pretty out there.
Going well in the wet, yeah, we spent a bit of time getting the car prepped over the winter, so hopefully the car runs all year. We've got to say a big thanks to the marshals being out there in this cold weather. It's a horrible day, and big thanks to them for being out there to support us. Thank you.
So here we go, the Scottish Classic Sports and Saloon Car Championship. Race number 2, race number 1, dominantly won by Alistair Bapty in his MG BGT V8. Ahead of Raymond Boyd and Bruce Mitchell. Bruce Mitchell, a podium overall and also a B-class win. Bruce be absolutely delighted with that one. Let's see what happens in race number 2. Bapty from Boyd with Bruce Mitchell and Alistair Coates the front 2 rows. With Manny Ferrari, William Conway, Michael Longstaff, Donald Laird in his Lotus with Bailey and Elliott, the top 10. John Kinmond, 13th position, and John Kinmond will start the race. Where though can John Kinmond get to? In fact, will John Kinmond start the race? Yes, he will. Lights coming on the bridge. We have got 5 lights. Let's see who gets a jump down towards Duffy's Dip. Terrible weather conditions, and away we go. A little bit of creeping from the mid-pack there. And there's Kinmond on the right-hand side of your screen there, but boxed in behind Kieran Bailey. Couldn't get past. There's Kieran Bailey there. Right behind him should be John Kinmond as we go on board with William Conway. There's the bumper of the big Rover as he just charges past Donald Laird. Donald, I think, saw that one coming and decided discretion being the better part. Didn't want to have a big triplex sign buried in the side of him, but it's Raymond Boyd who leads as they go up the back straight from Alistair Bapty, Bruce Mitchell, Alistair Coates and Mario Ferrari. A great start by Mario Ferrari and hanging in there with the big guns at the front. But what can Bapty do? It's early days yet, let's remember that, but he wants to get out there and lead. Alistair only knows one way, and that's absolutely flat out. Very reminiscent to the big bad butcher in the Blue Bullet, Harry Simpson. Let's see how Alistair gets on in this one, as that's Michael Longstaff just ahead of William Conway just now. William looking up the inside, and can he make that move stick? The MG midget on our left hand side, car number 5. Yes, and look at that, sideways in front of us was John Kinmond ahead of Kieran Bailey. But no, Longstaff comes back actually. Good manoeuvre that. As you come up the main straight, unable to get back past. William Conway slots in behind now as you come in towards Duffy's Dip. But just look at the mini on the brakes. Fierce bit of late braking there from Conway, and he takes that place as they go over the crest of Duffy's Dip. There'll be no way back through now for Michael Longstaff. That manoeuvre has been well and truly done, and Longstaff a little bit earlier on the brakes than Conway, and Conway making that little mini sing all the way in towards the heart of the apex of Duffy's Dip as the 2 leaders go through Clark's. Alistair Bapty and John Kinmond. We wait for the next car. Should be Bruce Mitchell. There's Brucey Boy, chased by Coates in the Mustang, and now up already ahead of Mario Ferrari. We have got John Kinmond in that big 3.5 litre Rover as we head towards the hairpin just now. Bapty's still holding back. Bapty's still just off the back, being a bit reserved. He's holding back here in this one from Raymond Boyd as Boyd goes over the crest of Duffus and down through Leslie's. That Porsche, it never used to be turbocharged, and then the guys from SWR, Stuart White Racing, turbocharged it with Raymond Boyd, and it's been a bit of a long, slow process, a difficult job to get right at the beginning. I believe it was always a fuel injection problem. Now, I'm pretty sure Raymond will correct me on this, but it used to have a kind of a misfire at a certain point through the rev, so the guys spent a while chasing that. But they have definitely got to the bottom of it now, and the car absolutely flies. It took about half or 3/4 of a year to get that right, because it's a very kind of early turbocharged system, and the fueling system on it was quite primitive, shall we say, as we see Donald Laird coming through the chicane and going up the back straight towards Clark Corner now. Raymond, you'll correct me if that's wrong. I'm pretty sure if you're watching this as he comes over the main straight now, or Raymond's team will be already sending text messages to correct me. As Bapty now looks like he's starting to just home in that little bit. Fastest lap in the first race was Alistair Bapty, a 61.359 second lap. Possibly able to go a little bit quicker, I would imagine, in these conditions. They usually do round about minutes, so let's see how they get on. As Mario Ferrari crosses the line ahead of William Conway. Behind William Conway we've got Michael Longstaff, and then a bit of a gap back till Donald Laird comes through. The 2 XR2s going through the hairpin off Duncan O'Neill, still ahead of Gary Taylor. Into the hairpin comes Raymond Boyd though. Raymond, car number 49. He's been in this car, or been that car number for some time now, and Bapty definitely starting to home in and catch up big time with Boydie, so he's going to really have to watch what he does here as we come up the main straight. That MG BGT V8 is very, very quick, and Raymond Boyd's car is just as quick, but the MG just looks to be better on the brakes and through the twisty parts. Maybe a bit of a lighter car, The Porsche, well, it's always good for traction, the Porsche. The engine hangs out over the back wheel, so it's never been a problem with traction. And Bapty now all over the back bumper. He doesn't want to get too close because that Porsche spits out some big flames as Bapty lights up the rear wheels in the MG BGT 8 coming through the chicane there. And that's Gary Taylor just going out of shot, so we're already about to come into some traffic as Boydie comes through Clark's, chased by Bapty. Bapty looking a little bit lively and a little bit leery in these early stages in this race. We didn't see that from him in race number 1, but he's getting a little bit keen on the loud pedal, it would seem. Up the main straight, let's have a look at lap times so far. Raymond Boyd's best lap at 59.9 actually so far for Raymond. That's a pretty good lap time, and a 59.9 also for Bapty. So those guys both lapping very quickly as Boyd slides past. That would be Duncan O'Neill going through the top of the and Alistair Bapty there. He has to take a bit of a risk going through Leslie's to stay up with Boydie, and he did do that. He did get past both Gary Taylor, and Duncan O'Neill at that first couple of corners as we go back on board with William Conway on the Mini. Car number 20 is Austin Mini, the 1380cc A-Class car, and that's Mario Ferrari having a half spin in front of us. Beautifully well controlled half spin from Mario Ferrari there. I think he was just wanting to let William Conway catch back up. Conway well now in the slipstream, but that Alfa Romeo should just drift away up the hill. It's only 100cc more than the Mini, and if anything the Mini should be a little bit lighter, so let's see what happens on the brakes here. Who's braver? Well, they stay absolutely the same as we see Mario Ferrari going over the top of Duffus, then down through Leslie's. That was a good camera shot. That wish we'd stayed with that a little bit longer, as Alistair Bapty has now drifted off the back of Raymond Boyd. Raymond Boyd's woken up, and Raymond Boyd on that lap set a 59.3 second lap. Bapty had done a 59.4, but the gap has gone out quite considerably in the favour of Raymond Boyd. So has Raymond really got into rhythm? Has Alistair Bapty encountered a slight problem? Or has the traffic just been a little bit more kind for Raymond than Alistair as we come through the chicane and up the back straight towards Clark Corner? A few spectators out in the open there. Most of them are in the shelters today at Knockhill as Bruce Mitchell now flashes past. Alistair Coates still in tow in that Mustang. That Mustang, yeah, it's shown as Class C, but I don't quite believe that, to tell you the truth. We'll check that later on, it's not a problem. Kieran Bailey goes through. Kieran Bailey in his Lotus 7. Bruce Mitchell, wow, Bruce Mitchell does something we do not see Bruce Mitchell doing very often, and that is spinning and looping the Lotus Europa into the gravel at McIntyre's. Now, car number 57, you're facing the wrong direction. You need to get away from there because watch out, Mario Ferrari's coming. And that's not a place you want to be. We can see through the corner there from William Conway that Bruce is still at the side of the track. And that's not a nice place to be. He managed to reverse it. He's reversed out on the track as the leader comes through. There goes Boydie. Bapty should sneak past as well. And dearie me, that got a little bit close for comfort there. Also in the middle of that was Michael Longstaff as Raymond Boyd goes through the back straight. But yeah, that's a very un-Bruce Mitchell manoeuvre, that. And yeah, these cars don't like having a sudden halt and then trying to fire back up. Classic cars tend to maybe overfuel themselves if they stop, or they stop with the wrong kind of compression on the engine. They don't like to fire up straight away. As we go back to the hairpin to see Raymond Boyd now charging down into that hairpin, and the next car ahead of him is William Conway. It looks like Bapty has got no answer for Raymond Boyd right now. Absolutely nothing as Boydie goes over the crest off the hill, and it's a commanding, comfortable lead. We're on board with William Conway. We would expect Raymond to come sliding past. Look at that, on cue. You'd think that was queued up. Raymond just slides up the inside, goes through Leslie's, and we follow in with William Conway. I thought Alistair Bapty might have been alongside him there. We were just staying a little bit shy of that apex, but Bapty not through yet, and you could just see Raymond pulling away all the time through the twisty part. He's going to get past Mario Ferrari before Clark, before Bapty's even past Conway. Where's Bapty? We'd expect Bapty to maybe pop up the inside here. Nope. Well, maybe. Well, I'm a little bit wayward off the apex here. Bapty shouldn't be too far away now, as disappearing into the distance goes Raymond Boyd. There goes Bapty now in the MG BGT V8, the 3.8 litre E-Class car, as we can just see he slithers underneath Mario Ferrari at the apex of the hairpin. Over the line, Raymond Boyd leads, and his lead is some 4 and a bit seconds now over Alistair Bapty. Bapty has got to pull something out of a hat here. The rabbit has to get grabbed by the ears and pulled very hard. It doesn't look like it's going to happen though. Raymond Boyd just making all the correct moves. Every gear change looks good. Everything just seems absolutely spot on. And if anything, Alistair Bapty looks like he's maybe having to try just that little bit too hard as we go through the chicane and up the back straight. But this will be the commentator's curse. Watch this. Anything could happen yet as John Kinmond arrives at the hairpin. And John must be a little bit lonely out there. He's now showboating to the spectators sideways out the corner. Well, if you can, John, you may as well. I like that. Give the man an extra couple of championship bonus points just for artistic, or whatever it's called. Over the line goes Duncan O'Neill in the 66 car, and Gary Taylor in the 65 car. Both the XR2s still out there circulating together on track, almost as one, we could say that. And a 112.1 for Duncan O'Neill and a 112.6 for Taylor. So those guys still circulating within the same second on track. Pretty horrible conditions. We've said that through the course of the day here. Still chased hard by Alistair Bapty. Bapty doesn't have much in the way of answering Raymond in this one, as Raymond has a little bit of traffic ahead of him now. Let's hope he doesn't take his eye off the ball with that one as he goes through the very slippy chicane in these murky conditions. Up the back straight he comes towards Clark. There goes Duncan O'Neill through the shot. And yeah, back mark. Oh, big sideways for course. Oh, that was Raymond Boyd. Raymond Boyd backwards into view at Clark's, sideways off the track and into the gravel trap, and the post bogs down. Back wheel spinning in the gravel trap, waved yellow flags at Clark's. Raymond Boyd has made a very uncharacteristic mistake, something we don't see him doing very often. Possibly snatched that on a downshift, and there the car goes round, and that will be an absolute disaster for poor Raymond. Now, can he get that out of there? No, because the wheels are spinning. Will the marshals help him, or shall we see a safety car? But this far into the race, I would imagine that the race will possibly be stopped rather than throwing a safety car. But Bapty comes through Duffy's Dip in the lead now. He will think it's Christmas as he comes in towards turn 3 McIntyre's. He'll really have to compose himself just now, because Bapty will not believe what he has just seen as he goes down through Butchers and up towards the yellow flag at the chicane. And there's a red flag yet. The red flag comes out, and Alistair Bapty has been awarded the victory from John Kinmond, Alistair Coates and Kieran Bailey. What a great shame for Raymond Boyd, and that one will haunt him for a while.
Third overall there, a good race. Tricky conditions though, and unfortunately a premature end when Raymond threw off the road. What did you see happening?
Didn't see him, to be honest. He just went off just before Clark's. I'm not very sure, but yeah, we were on historic tyres, so there wasn't a lot of grip out there and quite a lot of power. So today's the first day we've actually driven the car. So great fun, really enjoyed it.
Well done, Alistair. You drove a Stormer in race number 1, and you were putting Raymond under good pressure in race 2 there, but it looks like you'd almost thought, right, okay, I'll take the second place, and then Raymond made a very uncharacteristic mistake.
Yeah, I'll be honest, my eyebrows were way up with yours this morning too. I just didn't expect it at all. Nothing's changed with the MG since the winter, apart from engine just got rebuilt after it blew up in May last year. The second one, yeah, it was really slippy, muddy, same for everyone, and I just thought, I'm just glad to get it home in one piece. Hope to drive it on the trailer, not push it on like before, so I was just happy to take second and try and learn, and I was actually enjoying following Raymond to see what he does, and he's a slightly different line to me, and yeah, it's all different, completely different cars, but yeah, I need to get handling the MG sorted out big time.
So you've gone from the little Fiat X19 and you've moved up into what we class the big boys car, the big E-class cars. What is the difference in the car? Obviously out and out horsepower, but is there any other main differences?
No, between the Fiat and that, yeah, it couldn't get more different. The Fiat's got no power but handles really well, and the MG's got plenty of power but just like a drunk camel on roller skates, it's really, really bad.
Like a what?
A drunk camel on roller skates.
Of course, yeah, I've seen quite a few of them. I know exactly what you mean now.
I've heard about your gigs, yeah.
I've ridden quite a few of them as well, actually.
Yeah, haven't we all? Yeah.
Listen, Alistair, congratulations. Fabulous couple of races there, you deserve it.
No, but thank you very much. Thank you.